We'll see if that's actually true. Is that me? Am I on the screen? Looks like it. All right, cool. All right, we're gonna give a couple minutes here, get some people in. I gotta post like a tweet and stuff anyway, so let's see now. Did the YouTube come through? Oh, there's the YouTube. Is it me? Oh, that's me. All right. Let's get that out there. Make sure I didn't get any spelling mistakes. That's my classic. All right. Got that. We're going to post. I'll post that. Oh boy, it's good to be back. Gotta let the Discord know. To tag everyone. It's a momentous occasion. Oh yeah, and I got a little thumbnail too. Put that in there. Real professional like, you see. I'll take the hashtag out. Discord don't have hashtags. Yeah? Yeah, send now. I don't care. 10:30 at night, send to 300 people. They're just gonna know. They're just gonna get the alert. That's all that's gonna happen. All right, and I'll put it there. Okay, cool. So, like, can you even hear me, or am I doing all this for nothing? All right, let me make sure that the Twitter stuff's working and going on. I'm gonna copy the link here. Everything should be okay. Hot tub stream? No hot tub stream. Sounds working, thank God. All right. You know, the wider public doesn't know, but I had a fight with the audio today, all right? That's why we're streaming late, but that's all right. That's my classic anyway, so, you know, it is what it is. It wouldn't be a stream like this without that. All right, so, hello. I'm actually like on camera now, as you may have noticed, if you are a longtime viewer from before the flood times. We'll get to that in a different video because that's its whole story about the flood and why it disappeared. But I'm back and we're making games and I'm setting up. We're in a new place. I'm setting up. I got stuff. I got the CRT. I got everything, and I got a new fan game. Got the Mega Man, the Rulers of Space. So it's going to be a remake of Mega Man 5 for Game Boy. Actually, one of my favorite games, if you couldn't tell. And yeah, it's kind of an obscure game. Like, I think a lot of people know about it because they're like, oh, the StarDroids look cool and all that stuff. But I think a lot of people haven't played it because it's only on the Game Boy, and they were going to make a collection of the Game Boy games, and then they canceled it. And that was it. It's never been re-released. It's never been... I don't know. Maybe it's on... Is it on the Virtual Console? It could be on the Virtual Console, the 3DS. But I don't know. I have the original. I have it on Super Game Boy. It's pretty good. It's kind of old, so it's a little clunky. Kind of pushes the Game Boy to its maximum, so it's a little... got a lot of slowdown issues. And then they made like a Game Boy Color hack of it recently, which was really good. It reduced a lot of the slowdown, and that was really cool. But I still want to see it remade like a full new release, right? Oh, it was on the 3DS? That's where you played it. Yeah, the problem with the 3DS version is that they don't have the Super Game Boy Color support or the borders or anything. So, like, it's not a great version. It's just the original. But yeah, anyway, so that's what we're doing. I'll show you the actual game here. Where is it? Here? Are we good? Okay, thank God everything's working. Actually, I forgot to turn the music on, but I guess that's all right. So here, let's play a little music. But just like old times, get the tunes rolling. Absolutely nice work on Rulers of Space. Keep going, dude. Thank you very much. Captain N's Mega Man colors. Wait, what? That could be a funny alternate palette. Hey, Variant X, I'm glad you could show up. It is my glorious return here. We're back. So, yeah, the trailer you saw was the whole first stage. Now we've got some stuff that we've been working on that's a little out of that. Like we've got a couple sprites of bosses and stuff, but they're not programmed yet, so we couldn't show those off. However, I will keep my word. I will show you what Mercury looks like, and we'll actually play through the thing here once the debugger decides to be happy. Are we good? I think we're good. Hold on. I'm going to turn vsync equals 1. That stops the tearing, and you can see the debug messages. I don't care. You will see what I see. I missed you? Oh, thank you. Well, hey, we're finally back. I finally got enough equipment and internet and everything to stream, so we're back, baby. We'll do it's Wednesday, right? Oh, I hope it's Wednesday. Yeah, it's Wednesday. That shows you how in the weeds I've been this week. We're going to be doing streams every Wednesday, hopefully around 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, somewhere around there. It's my favorite game in the entire Classic series. I won't say it's my absolute favorite, but it's up there. It really is. It's a really great game, and a lot of people are missing out on it. Get equipped with a house. Yeah, right? So there's some stuff that I didn't show in the video. Oh, hold on. I've got to reset it. There's glitches. Oh, you'll see there's glitches. The sprite layering system, I need to reboot the game in order to make it work. That's one of them. Ignore that. There, okay. Now everything looks like it's right. There's still glitches with the sprite layering, but for the most part it seems to work. But yeah, first thing, I can't take damage. I just had to do a perfect run, right, on the video. Oh, but yeah, this guy. I'll show you his pattern here. So I didn't show it too much in the video, but it's mostly the same as the original game, but I kind of made him stay in sequence. He would kind of fire randomly in the original, but I feel like he should fire first and then give you a chance to like jump through it and stuff. So we did that. You can actually stand on these. They don't move with you though. That's a glitch, but we'll figure that out eventually. But you can actually ride them a little bit. It works. Get rid of that guy there. You'll probably notice that as soon as I destroy them, that they respawn. That's kind of a glitch too, but whatever. I'm showing you all the dirty behind-the-scenes stuff. He can actually, here's debug mode, yay, wee! He can actually hit you. It doesn't do any damage though, but it actually does collide. So we've got some stuff working. A little bit of smoke and mirrors on that trailer, but that's alright. And here's the big one that everybody's gonna get freaked out by. The sliding. It's actually not. It's not a gap. The sliding was fake. So I know AJ posted about that earlier on Twitter. Yeah, the sliding's fake. It actually does detect that you're in there, so you can stay in there, but you can actually just walk through it. Unreal's really weird with the way that you change shape with characters. So to make him like a ducking shape, we gotta do some wacky stuff. But we'll get there. But yeah, see, it'll stay. But we gotta get that figured out. Just didn't have much time. The reason why we posted it today is because this is the start of what they call Mega Man 5 Week. So the fans of the original game actually have like a little Twitter celebration this week. And I'm like, well, we've got to do that, right? But yeah, ladders are a little wonky right now. You'll notice that. Ladders actually don't end. You can just keep going. Can't go through walls, but you can keep going. Yeah, back after almost 2 years, right? Yeah. I was actually really happy to get this crusher working. Sometimes it gets a little stuck, but and I'm real happy about the crusher because it just wouldn't nearly go well if we didn't have that. It's a pretty central part of this stage. Let's see. Let's chat. Say. This project I thought was going to be anything except a Game Boy 5 remake, and I'm very happy to see that it's Game Boy 5 remake. Well, I'm glad that you're glad. Um, do they instant kill if you crush you? No, you want to see what happens? You want to see what happens? It just... Yeah, that's what happens. Woo! Sometimes you get soft locked in there. Sometimes you can't get out. No, there's no damage yet. It just gets a little goofy. I'll probably do something like if it spends 2 or 3 frames stuck, then it'll take it out. You could say the shape change detection feature is Unreal. Yeah, well, listen. All right, Unreal has been a trip. Okay, it's not been fun. Well, it's been fun, but Unreal is not what I expected it to be. It's well, it's got its uses, but man, it's not that easy to work with 2D for sure. And it's definitely got its quirks. Whoops. Well, yeah, that's the other thing. You can't die down here, but I can debug my way back out, so we're good. You can also go up the chutes because there's no collision up there. Hey, just like Flame Mammoth stage in X1, right? You can just go through the ceiling. If you guys know that trick. I was actually thinking that maybe we could put like a hidden room or something up there. I think that would actually be pretty cool. The conveyor belts actually work, surprisingly. That's not smoke and mirrors. These actually do work. And any character that has like character movement on it will be affected by it. So I was actually really happy how that came out. And again, the sliding like half works. He just doesn't actually crouch yet, so you can also just walk through. But it does detect like where the ceiling is, and it'll keep you in the slide. And I think the slide looked pretty good. We took a lot of sprites from the arcade games, the Mega Man Power Battle and Mega Man Power Fighters. On the arcade, they use that Mega Man 7 style, but they kind of enhance things a little bit. So we kind of looked to that to be like, well, what did they do there? What sprites can we rip from there and then use that? So all the physics are 3D. Yes, that is one of the weird things. All the physics is 3D. So here, let's look. Let's go into 3D land. See, here's the whole stage. With everything unoptimized and active at the same time, which is not good, but it's what we've got, at least for now. I have to make like a system to kind of like turn rooms on and off as you go to them. Hey, here. Oh, it reset my position. Hold on. Whoop, where are we? We're in 3D space? Oh, here we are. Yeah. Yeah, no, Unreal is a 3D engine through and through. It is 3D. There is no 2D. You have to fake it. So there's our Mega Boy, and everything. Well, it's pretty flat, right? But it's still kind of like a stack of papers put together. So yeah, it's interesting. I don't know if I can turn on collision. Can I turn on collision? Show collision, sort of. You can sort of see it. Oh yeah, here's a crusher. Yeah. You see the crusher? You see the boxes, right? The little wireframe boxes? That's the colliders. That's the tiles that are actually colliding. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. It's all 3D. It just kind of acts like 2D. I think Shovel Knight is sort of famous for that too. But I think they use their own engine. I don't think they use Unreal. But yeah, that's what that looks like on the inside. It's now 10:34 for me. Is it AM? Oh no, PM. Yeah, that's my time too. Gee man, I thought you were like on the other side of the world. Oh, you're now in the US? Oh. Okay, cool. Well, welcome to the US, the land of hot dogs, hamburgers, and freedom. Yeah, enjoy your stay. Come down to Kentucky and get some real good food down here. Where's the 3D space? Yeah, for real, right? That's an interesting approach. It's the only approach in Unreal. You have to use the 3D. There are no 2D things. So like Unity has the 2D colliders and the 3D collider system. There is no difference here. It's all 3D. You just have to keep the math on the rails to fake the 3D, or the 2D rather. It's crazy. Yeah, Freedom Raw. Yeah. Yeah, overclocked mode 7, right? I'm down below you. Oh, okay. All right. So you're down. Let's see. I'm still fairly new to Kentucky, so I'm trying to think. Tennessee is to our east, I think. The directly south. And I'm not. What is directly south? It's not Georgia. There's something in between, right? Because we're kind of like on the border. We've got like West Virginia and Tennessee and Ohio. But Ohio's north. I don't know. I'm terrible with geography. It's terrible. Oh, and Sunshine State, you're in Florida. Oh, my condolences. I'm sorry. What a place to visit when you come to the United States, Florida. Jesus Christ. No, I hope you enjoy it though. I like the weather in Florida. Other stuff maybe not so much. Florida's kind of a crazy place. It's pretty crazy. It's nice. You know, the weather's really nice in the winter. You know, you go there and it's like still 80, but during the summer it's crazy, really crazy. All right, the moment everybody's been waiting for, we actually do have a sprite of Mercury. Of course, he's not programmed yet, so he's not going to run around, but he's there. There he is. Hey, there he is. He don't do anything yet, but he's there. I mean, I can hit him, but he don't do anything back. Not yet, at least. We just didn't have enough time to get him in there. So, so Aaron Hansen did the sprite for this one. I really, really like how that one came out. So if you don't know, you probably do know because he's pretty well known in our space. So Ego Raptor, we followed each other on Twitter a while back in the Pocket Fighter days. Didn't really interact too much, but I was showing off some of the sprites for the game, and then like he's like, "Hey, that's pretty cool." Because I was converting the arcade sprites into the Super Nintendo, like, form factor, the size of it. I'll show you how that works. So I was showing him, and then like I hopped on a DMs, and I'm like, "Hey, this is what we're actually doing. We're remaking Mega Man 5 for Game Boy," and he's like, "That looks sick as hell." So he came in, and then he got interested and started doing a few sprites, and so there it is. So he did Mercury here. It was really cool. Actually, Mercury is my favorite boss out of the StarDroids for sure. And like his stage, his music, everything, I really like it. So I'm really happy how that came out. He lost on the tester, and now he'll never play video games for money. Never play video games for money. I'm sorry, I don't get the joke. I do remember the tester though. That was hilarious. That was the dumbest reality show I've ever seen in my life. And the only reason to watch that show was to watch Ego Raptor show up in like some like fucking dinosaur pajamas or something and just walk around. He did exactly what you needed to do with that show and just make a mockery of it and don't care. And then they like immediately kicked him off because like, I don't know, whatever. I guess they were mad at him or something. He was the only reason to watch the damn thing. Did they pull the wrong PSN ID? I don't know. I don't know what that's referring to. Man, that's been so long though. This one's so long. He got on because I think they did like a YouTube poll or something, or a poll, and then they voted him in. That was really the dumbest show like I've ever seen. They're just like, hey, you know what? To teach you how to be a game designer, we're gonna have you like take a potato launcher and like shoot watermelons or something. Crazy shit like that is like, it completely made up bullshit. They just made it the fuck up on the spot. It was such a disaster. It had no redeeming qualities, and I don't know if they ever made any more. I don't even think I watched till the end. It was that bad. It was incredibly awful. There was a segment where they asked Aaron about the the trophies! That was also awful. I remember that. They asked him how many trophies he had on PSN, like it's some real barometer for like how much you like games or how well you can design a game. It's so dumb. It was just a thinly veiled advertisement for PlayStation. I've got like no trophies, for the record, all right? I'm in the same boat. I've got nothing. You know, I don't care. I really don't care about platinuming a game or whatever. Like, who cares? Yeah, like, if you enjoy that, that's fine if you want to do the extra challenges, but half the time they throw them in there as, like, just some cheap garbage to make the game longer or because they have to. Like, on PlayStation, you have to put trophies in the game. Like, they don't let you publish if you don't put the trophies in the game. So you just got, most of the time, they just make up some bullshit. They're just like, whatever, find 500 tokens or something. Like, we don't care. And then they just throw it in and that's it. It's all bullshit. It's all fake. Yeah, they don't really mean anything. I just want to play the damn game. I don't want to sit there and be like, oh, well, collect 10 carrots. Why? You don't get anything? You get a trophy? Like, no. I'm not doing that shit. That's so dumb. If that was any indication, then I don't know anything about how to make a game, because I don't have any goddamn trophies. It got canceled at episode 5? Yeah, it was called The Tester. Man, that was so long ago! Man, that takes me back. That was awful, man. Oh, okay, I didn't know this. You can trade platinums in towards game purchases. So how many do you have to get a whole game? Like, how much are they worth? That's interesting, though. I didn't know that. Oh, yeah, it was all for a QA role, too, I think. It was just QA, like the most underpaid minimum wage job in the entire industry. And they're making these people basically fist fight for it. Yeah, it's crazy. It was the dumbest thing ever. Good for the persons that are hardcore gamers. Look, I consider myself a hardcore gamer, and I'm not touching the damn trophies. They're stupid. They really are. There's no reason. It's boring. It's just weird checklist of like crazy things that have nothing to really do with the game half the time. Or they're just like, oh, just beat the story and you get like half the achievements or something. They don't mean anything. It's awful. So they pulled up someone else's PSN ID because his was Egoraptor spelled backwards. I remember that story from a Grumpcade episode. Oh, I didn't know that. That's really funny. That's incredibly funny. That just makes it better. That makes it better. Now, thanks to the newly added section of Sony Rewards Program, users can redeem these trophies in exchange for real money. The idea does sound good. Do you know that it is not a lot of money you get? Yeah, figures. Yeah, that's true. Egoraptor probably was taken. Yeah, can you imagine, like, a new console comes out and, like, Daigo Umehara trying to get his name? It's not happening. They're gonna take it, like, fucking hours before he even gets it. How is the stage put together? Very slapdash. I hate to inform. So here's the thing. Unreal's 2D support is terrible, right? It's absolutely awful. So hold on, let me change back to 2D perspective here. So the way that tile maps work are awful, and there's hardly anything you can do with them. So we suffered through it. And each one of these tile maps can have like different layers, but like you can't move the layers independently for like parallax scrolling, so you're kind of stuck. That was part of the reason why we didn't have parallax in time. I could have engineered it, but it would have taken too much time to get it done. But so like all these layers are locked, and you see how big the tile grid is, because once you make it, you basically can't change it. So you just have to kind of guesstimate how big it's going to be, or plan it out ahead of time and make it, because it is a nightmare. You can't really move things very well. Like, it's awful. So what we're planning to do is, apparently there's a program called Tiled, so Tiled. I think it was developed by, what's that game? What is it? Dead Cells. I think it was developed by the Dead Cells people or something, but then now they're just giving it away or something. Maybe there's a license associated with it, but it's totally worth it. because you can use that with Unreal, and it just imports the maps, and the tile editor for tile maps is so much better. So I got to figure that out. But I didn't have time to like re-engineer the entire map system to allow for that. But now that the footage is out, we can kind of move past this prototype and do something that's actually like really, legit. I hate to use the word legit. A lot of video games are smoke and mirrors behind the scenes, no matter what. But I feel like it would just be pure suffering to continue to use Unreal's tile map editor as it is. It's just absolutely not good. Now, I give them sort of a pass on it because the person working on the 2D tools basically just doesn't work on them anymore. So it's not like, I don't know, I guess I can still blame them for leaving it in that state. But they had a guy working on the 2D sprites and the 2D tile maps and stuff, but they're incomplete. That's why they're not really good. So I guess one way or another, they didn't see fit to put any backing into the 2D stuff. Now, maybe because Unity's dead and buried, they'll do something with it, but I don't know. So we'll see. You started in Unreal in this project back when Unity shot their leg off. Yeah, that was exactly when it started. Now, it's not like I've been working on it full time. A lot of other stuff been going on in the meantime. But, speaking of which, I got married. If you were around, like the Discord and the Twitter, you know that. So it's like old news now, but yeah, I should probably officially mention that I'm married. A lot has happened. A lot has happened since the last time I've been on. I was using Tiled in like 2003. Unreal plugin is probably new. I don't know, but the Immortal developers at Mashura Games, they're going to use Tiled, or they've started using it. So I'm going to see how they did it, because I saw their lead programmer put it in so that they could like test mechanics and kind of block out stages and stuff. Like obviously they're still doing 3D, but there is benefit to having the 2D layout and then kind of building around that. So, man grew a beard and got married. Yeah, the beard's new. Definitely. Like I've talked about it, but I've never shown it, right? I got to get an updated avatar because it's totally not the same anymore, right? AJ, I didn't know you got married. You were at the wedding! Jesus. Everything go okay with the house? Yes. Yes, we finally we're renting this house now. We're out of the awful shack that was about to burn down. The babyface avatar. Yeah, that avatar is... Man, how old is that? Larry, you drew that, right? Do you remember how long ago that was? Obviously, I was still back in New York at that time, but even then it was still a few years, I think, before the move. That can't be 10 years, can it? Long time ago, or too long ago. Yeah, somebody guessed 10 years. Can't be 10 years. It has been a while. It's probably like 6, 7, or 8. It's been a while. I used to look like that, but I mean, I still kind of do. I just, got a little extra down here and a little less up here, right? That's how it goes. What up, man? It's been a while. What happened to Pocket Fighter EX? I will do a whole video on that. Oh, hold on, I'm scrolling fast. I will do a whole video on the flood and the marriage and the recovery of the flood and what happened to Pocket Fighter. But basically, TLDR is the Unity engine decided to pull the most crazy, just bullshit you've ever seen and totally screw over all its developers. And pack the engine with tons of spyware. So their plan was, hey, we're going to force developers to pay like every time someone installs a game. So even like if it's a free game, if you hit a certain number of installs, they're going to come knocking at your door and they'd be like, okay, like you need to pay up. And by free, I mean like a mobile game, like a freemium game. So you don't pay to install, right? You don't buy it on Google's Play. You don't pay $5 and install it. But Unity still wants that like 25 cents out of you. So when you have a game like a mobile game and you've got, a shit ton of installs, you're going to be paying for that now where you didn't before. And to track all that, they've loaded tons of spyware into the thing. Like, they literally admitted this because people are asking, like, okay, so how are you going to know how many installs there are? And they kind of didn't want to answer, but then on their forums, they answered, kind of like slyly, kind of like, yeah, well, because somebody asked something about, like, whether or not it communicates with Unity servers, like calls back home to, like, find out who's got what installed, and they basically admitted that, yeah, that's exactly what it's doing. So it's spyware. Any game that's made with it now is complete spyware. So number one, I don't want any of my players installing that shit. Why would I want to subject them to that? Number two, Unity's going to come knocking at some point. And then they thought they could just slip this in, like no one would notice. They're just like, oh yeah, by the way, the rules changed. And it doesn't matter if your game was made now or 10 years ago. We're coming after you for that money. And I'm like, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. If they can decide to do that so easily, they'll just change the rules again. Okay, so they didn't even walk it back, because people were like, oh, they're gonna walk it back. They're gonna do that. They didn't even actually walk it back. But it could always just get worse. Well, even if they did walk it back, okay, what do? We wait till next year, and next year we're gonna have a surprise new set of rules? No, I'm not doing that. So I'm gonna be held at gunpoint to get fan games out there and have people install like a shit ton of spyware. It's not happening. So I had to ditch Unity, and I really didn't want to because Unity's great. It's actually really good. Using Unreal has kind of opened my eyes to that because I always used to kind of hold Unreal as like, oh, it's harder to use. I haven't really used it, but it's got the really great lighting system. It's kind of like the industry standard, and I think I'd still go back to Unity after this if I could, at least for 2D games, right? The 2D support, like the tile maps and stuff here, it's just no good. It's just no good. You have to use third-party tools. Like Unity's got tile maps that are good. It's got the animation system's good. I had to basically hack in stuff to get the animation for the sprites the way that I wanted. Like their paper 2D stuff, no good. So you've got to really put in some work to make Unreal do this 2D stuff. It's not free, and it's honestly not easy. And I really struggle with it. I'll be a big man, and I'll admit that. Even after working that long in Unity, I really struggled with this. But it's finally getting to a point where, obviously you can see things are coming together. So I'm happy with that at least, right? Let's see, what's chat saying? The CEO got punished, so the board is still there. That's the thing. Yeah, most of the people that made that decision in Unity are still there. They fired the CEO. They kind of knew they were going to anyway. Like, that's kind of the plan. And he already made his money. He made his money. He's good. He's set. Yeah, he's not sad about being booted out. He knew that this was kind of gonna probably be a thing. He cashed out already. He got everything. He's flying away on his golden parachute. He don't care. He got everything he wanted. You gotta remember, this guy was the guy that was CEO of like EA. He's like one of the worst just executives in the game industry business. The guy who got caught on tape saying that if I could make them buy the bullets in Call of Duty to reload, I would do it. That's the guy that was running Unity, okay? So yeah, and he's made his money. He's got millions and millions. He's fine. He does not care. And they got away with it. They didn't walk it back. So there are no developers that should ever use Unity ever again. It's just no. You need to get away from it. And I understand that some of them are stuck. They're like 5 years into a project and they can't just switch. They don't have the money. They don't have the time. They don't have the soul left in them to do something like that. They don't have the opportunity. They've got to finish their game, and then they might move on from there. But they better move on after that. There's no reason to sit there and just kind of to take that kind of beating, you know? Like, just your soul takes a beating from shit like that. You just worry. You have enough to worry about when you're doing games. You don't need to worry about that. Are you streaming primarily from Twitch or YouTube? Both. We simulcast. So, until they get rid of me, I guess. I don't know. Twitch is kind of weird. They keep changing the rules about it, so we're going to simulcast, and if they don't like it, I guess they'll ban me. I don't know. Unity Pro went from $400 to $180 or $40 to $180 a month. Yeah, I remember that too. Oh yeah, it wasn't just the ad thing that really pissed people off. It was a lot of other stuff. Yeah, it was pretty bad. Hope nothing very bad happened to your family or your relatives during the flood. Miraculously, everybody survived. I'll do a video about the flood. It's a crazy story. I really we were sitting there. We're like, yeah, we're all dead. There's no way. We already thought other people were just like dead, but like they survived. Everybody survived. Everybody's still alive. It's crazy. I don't know how we all made it out of that, but it was crazy. But again, I will do a segment, a stream, or video or something about that exclusively. But that's for another day. The GitHub repo, yeah, for the terms of service, they took it down. Let's see. Did they put it back up? Let's see. The GitHub repo for terms of service put up due to help make better another incident that they were doing. I'm not sure exactly what you're saying. Got some typos there. So it's all the more funny of them saying that we promise we won't do another incident. Is it still down or is it back up? Because they took it down to like, oh, nobody reads the terms of service, so we took down the thing that showed you the changes in the terms of service. Coincidentally, right before we change all the rules and try to screw everybody. Yeah. Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah. Is that a CRT in the background? Hell yes it is. That is absolutely a CRT in the background. And it works. It's on. Super Nintendo, baby. I got it piped in. You can see it. It's there. I don't know. You probably can't hear it though. The audio's got all jacked up today, so we'll get there. You're being shot with electron. There's an electron gun in there. Yeah, right? No, it's good. It's good. I got it hooked up. I can play the game here. You can watch it on here, wherever you guys are up there. But I see it over here. But yeah, you can see it on the screen. It's great. Playing the game. Oh, controls all messed up. I always have to switch it to control type A. There we go. There we go. That's the original game. We will, probably next week, we'll do a playthrough of the game. And then I'll kind of tell you what I think about it and what things I might want to change. Kind of like a study analysis playthrough. Because it is fun. It's a good game. That's part of why I want to remake it. It's really good. I really like it. I just feel like that there's some things that you can change with it, that you can kind of update, you know? Like, a lot has happened since this game's been out. It's like, what, 25 years? When this thing was out in like 95. It's crazy. So we will do a playthrough. We'll do a breakdown of all of that. I think next week. We'll do that next Wednesday. Just kind of get like a basis of what I'm thinking, so you guys know, like, oh, what's the plan? What are we doing with this remake? I'll tell you exactly what it is as I play it. Side-by-side stage comparison would be great. Yeah, actually. Oh, here. Let me put it back on the camera roll. The B-roll. Yeah, I like that how it fades out. It's got its own special border. That's the best way to play it on Super Game Boy. If you want to play the original. if you like the idea of the Game Boy Color hack, that is absolutely the better way to play it. Just because like the slowdown and stuff was fixed, so that would be good. But yeah, hey, you know what? Let's bring that up. Let's take a look at that stage. See what we got here. I think here's the maps. Yeah, here's the Mercury stage as ripped from VG maps or whatever. Oh, excuse me. Of course, you can't see both my monitors, so I'm gonna have to like kind of go back and forth with this. Oh wait, yeah, I can just full screen it. I like that. I like that. It's just F11. So like, you know, we start off here. It's pretty much the same. I made the wall a little thicker just to make it more interesting. Got the first hump here. Can I? Oh, it's just gonna hide that, right? We tried to replicate some of the background here. We're still in the Super Nintendo feed, damn it! God, alright. This one? It's this one. My layout's all different now. Okay, hold on, starting over. Here's the F11. Woo. There you go. That's what I was saying was neat. So here we start off with basically the same room. We tried to get like the background pattern somewhat similar. I think what we're going to end up doing is we're going to kind of like reimagine these stages a little bit. Because like you can see that we took the original graphics and kind of used that as a model to do this. And we laid it out pretty much exactly the same. You know, we had to change a couple things due to the screen size differences, but pretty much it's kind of the same pattern, right? But I think as we went along, we kind of realized that that's not, it's not really cutting it. It looks kind of cool, but at some point, everything looks a little too oversized when they're directly translated to the Super Nintendo scale. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to kind of go back to the drawing board and say, okay, these images are cool, right? Like these kind of tiles, the way they look are neat, but let's not just copy them one-to-one. Let's use this as kind of like an inspiration basis to redraw the map and then take the design language, I guess, of what you see here on the tiles and then kind of use that to drive the redrawing of the level, but not like make it one-to-one. But keep like the physical layout, right? Because the physical layouts are fine. There's not much you can change a few things. Maybe add a couple rooms. You know, you don't want to take anything away necessarily. You want to enhance something maybe, but you don't want to change it because the game itself is not bad. There's nothing, you know, that's critically wrong with it. So I think like giving it a proper facelift that's not just copying the tiles and then adding detail. I think actually like kind of can say like, what is this room, right? You see like the dropping. We figured out that this was a trash processing plant because it was never really said anywhere. But you can check. There's guidebooks and there's mangas and all that stuff. And the consensus was that it's a trash processing plant. So we replaced the crates, the nondescript crates, with like trash blocks, right? And we started to do a little bit of that process. But I think we can take it further. I think we can say, hey, well, this room, what is this? This is a transport room, right? Well, maybe we can have other trash blocks in the background dropping down. Maybe there's little conveyor belts in the background, maybe little worker robots in the background, something. Just come up with stuff that would fit that motif. And then when we get here, right? So I actually had to change a couple things here. When we get here, like, what is this? You know, the question is, what is this? And I'm thinking, like, man, this is like a trash chute. Like, you throw garbage down the trash chute. That's what this is. Because look at the bottom here. Clearly, whatever's getting down here is getting destroyed, right? So, to me, when I look at this, I'm like, this is like a grinder or something. This is like a trash grinder. You know those things you see on YouTube? They like throw it in the wood chipper and it like eats up whatever's there. That's what this looks like to me. So I'm saying, you know, okay, sure, we did it straight up here. We just put the spikes here. But I say when we remake the stage, let's put a trash grinder thing down here. Something that looks lethal, so you know you're not supposed to touch it. But like it's grinding up trash, maybe trash is still falling down. Maybe there's trash box falling down with you. And so when you get to the bottom, you see them land in the grinder and they get like chewed up and stuff. That's the kind of stuff I want to do. You know, we made this prototype kind of just straightforward and translated what we were going to. Is that the sound effect collection? That's very funny. I just loaded up the... Oh, there's the voices. All right, we'll skip that track. I just loaded up the soundtrack for the game. That's very funny. They used to do that back in the day. They used to put the voice samples and like the sound effects and stuff on the soundtracks, which were really cool. But we'll just skip that because that'll be annoying. But yeah, like, what if there's trash box falling down here and like you see them get eat up in the grinder and stuff? That's what I want to do. We translated this pretty much 1-to-1 for the most part, you know, as much as we could. But like in doing that, we really realized that there's a lot more that we can end up doing with this. We can actually make these places feel like real spaces, you know, where they didn't have that opportunity on Game Boy. They just didn't have the power for it. They didn't have the space. They could have done more, but it's a Game Boy cartridge. There's only so much you can do, right? And it's a pretty big game as is, so I don't fault them for not going, you know, extra hard on it. And to be honest, when you see it on the Game Boy, it's just, you know, they can kind of get away with just putting random graphics and spots. I mean, it looks pleasing aesthetically, but when you blow up this, like, what is this? There's this block here, but it's also like 3 of them down here. So like when you blow this up to Super Nintendo standards, it kind of almost looks like nonsense. You know what I mean? So by the time that we were mapping it out, we're kind of coming to that realization that as we move forward, we need to really rethink what these things are and come up, you know, take these design motifs that they have here. Take these, you know, these pipes look cool, you know, these little gizmo monitors, whatever, they look cool. Let's just kind of reinvent them and just not just throw them all in random places like this. Let's actually really think about what each room is and then kind of build from that. You know, it's like metal. I don't know. What is it? Yeah, it's metal, duh. Dummy. Jeez. Were you stupid? It's metal. Yeah. Yes, it's metal. But I mean, like, you know, like, what is this machine? What does it do? What are these? Are these canisters? What are these? Why do they have arrows on them? We don't know. I think there's a lot more we can do to kind of make sense of, like, what these things are. Because, like, these, like, what are these? Are these crates? Are these air ducts? You look at the original, right? And, like, it's kind of hard to tell. Like, are these boxes? Are these, like, storage crates? Why is it a big one on top of a small one? I guess that one's an air vent, right? The pipes are going to it? Maybe they're air vents? But they're also in front of the fence? Like, it kind of doesn't really make too much sense when you think about it. And that's okay. I mean, it was an old game. It's just what they did back then, right? But I think we have the opportunity to do more with it. And we should take that opportunity. So that's what I want to do going forward. But yeah, with the comparison, a lot of it's pretty much just straight up what it is, right? Like this is pretty much the same thing. The screen size is a little different. We had to get a little creative up here. The ladders are bigger in Mega Man 7 style than they are in the Game Boy. So we actually had to like kind of scrunch things in a little bit here. And I think that block's disconnected now. Yeah, this block used to be connected here, but it's no longer connected. They could just spin to be a shredder. Sorry, I'm catching up a little bit on chat here. I know it's kind of rambling. I prefer the Super Game Boy version mostly because of the color hack changes some of the shading. Yes, because on the Game Boy they didn't have to worry about color. They actually use the different colors for shading, you know, the different levels of gray. And when they colorized it, they had to remove some of that because they didn't have, you know, like 16-bit sprites to do with. And that was part of why we went with Mega Man 7 to go to 16-bit style, because you can't take those characters with all the details that they have, you can't just colorize the original sprites, really. I mean, unless you like made them Wily Wars style, maybe. But that was the other consideration. We thought, well, maybe Wily Wars style, but the Mega Man 7, the screen real estate is about the same because everything in Mega Man 7 is a bit bigger and it's blown up. Like it's not like the NES games are really small sprites and stuff. But when we overlaid a room from the Game Boy game onto Mega Man 7, we're like, it's actually almost the same amount of screen space in between the two games. And that kind of sealed the deal at that point. We're like, yeah, let's just use that. Because it's going to look cool as hell anyway. And the big Mega Man 7 sprites, we can get all the details from the characters. Because the concept arts are pretty detailed. They're pretty, like, it was made around the time of Mega Man 6 and 7. So, like, they kind of, I don't know if they were influenced by what was going on in those developments, but the character designs for especially the StarDroids are pretty complex, and a lot of the details don't show up on the sprites in the gameplay. So now what we're using Mega Man 7 style, we have the opportunity to do that. So that'll be good. Let's see. What if Mercury was going liquid form and moving throughout the stage pipes? Like just kind of stalking you? I don't know. That level of detail is pretty hard to do because you get so much other stuff to do, but it's something I can think about. Yeah, they're all thingamabobs and doohickeys. Yeah. What is this I passed by? Oh, bye-bye. Okay, bye. It's a Mega Man fan game. If I was doing an original Mega Man game, I'd like to integrate the bosses throughout the stage. Oh, okay, I get you. I mean, yeah, like Jet Stingray does that, right? Is he the only one? Is Jet Stingray the only boss that actually attacks you throughout the stage? Now I don't even know. I don't know. Is he the only one? That's the only one I can come up with. AJ's talking, yeah. Wily Wars would be neat, but since there's a new Sequel Wars fan game in the works, I'm going for Super Nintendo style is a bit more original. I think going for Super Nintendo. Yeah, that really didn't... I guess I didn't really think about it. Now, there is a reason to consider Wily Wars style beyond just, like, oh, it's different. What a lot of people don't know, the people who made Game Boy 5, this game, that game, the people who made that game made Wily Wars. They're the same developers, and they're not Capcom internal staff. They actually outsourced them. They made the first, the third, the fourth, and the fifth Game Boy Mega Man games, not the second one. And then they made Wily Wars. So it actually would have been sort of spiritually fitting to use Wily Wars style, but there's other complications that go with that, and we thought 7 just kind of fit better anyway, so we went with 7. So that's how it goes. Yeah, they made, it was you said Minakuchi. Is that I forget what the name of the developer is. Let me look it up quick. Game Boy. Zachariah's Revenge on Wikipedia. Yeah, Minakuchi Engineering. Yeah, Minakuchi Engineering. Yeah, they made the first, third, fourth, fifth Game Boy games, not the second one, and Wily Wars. And they also worked on X3, but I don't know to what capacity, which kind of makes sense because X3 is the weird one, and all the Game Boy games are a little weird too, so I guess it kind of tracks, right? Eris? What's Eris? Is that Eris? What's Eris? Who's Eris? What's Eris? Yes, so sounds like a fake name. You get to say Kuchi on stream. No, it's real. You can look it up. Minakuchi Engineering. I don't know if they've done anything like recently or if they've all kind of moved on or retired or whatever, but oh, avoiding the puddle. Oh, because of the beard, right? Avoiding the whiz. Yeah. Okay, I get it now. Yeah, I know what you mean by Eris. I didn't put two and two together there. I guess there is a little similarity, right? Not intentional, but it is what it is. I actually like the beard, though. I never used to like beards because they're itchy. When you first start to get one, it's itchy, but then it goes away. Like it just stops being itchy, and now it's cool. Now I've got what a beard. Have you tried Mega Man 8-Bit Deathmatch? I have not, no. I'm not too big into first-person shooters. I mean, it looks kind of funny. Like fun funny, like not bad, but it looks good funny. But yeah, I guess it's not really the kind of game that I would gravitate toward, but so I haven't played it. Oh, it is a Doom mod? I thought it was original. I didn't know it was a Doom mod. Well, that makes sense. Doom would be the good template for that kind of game, right? Let's see. We just need you to rant about side-scrollers instead of fighters. Well, you came to the right place, believe me. It's gonna happen. Man, I wish my chat wasn't so low on the desk. Maybe I can put it up here. I'm like craning my neck down trying to read this. It is a Doom mod. Okay, that makes sense. Is that gonna stay? Oh, is that gonna stay? It might fall. If it falls, you're gonna hear it. I'll move my keyboard just in case. Oh, just probably hook my phone up to charge too. How about that? I wonder if the new Sonic Kart Racer is still on Doom. I don't know. I don't know about that. You know, I didn't think about it, but I didn't bring. Wait. Maybe I do have a. Maybe I do have a charger. It's not gonna reach, is it? Oh no. I forgot to put my tablet on charge. It'll last. It's fine. It's got 52% left. That's all right. Oh, it is? It's still on Doom? That's fine. Hey, look, whatever makes the game work, right? It's fine. You don't have to use Unreal Engine. In fact, I kind of wish I wasn't using Unreal Engine in some ways. Don't get me wrong. It's not a bad engine. It's definitely geared towards 3D more, but I really like the Unity workflow, and I'm not saying that just because I was a Unity dev. I actually think that as an engine, Unity is a bit more flexible, even if it's not quite as optimized. And I would probably take that flexibility over the performance. In fact, I don't even know if I'm going to get performance benefits because I'm not even using 3D. I'm not using lighting. I'm not using all this stuff. So if I could magically make Unity not suck, and the people running it not evil, I would probably just do that and continue to use it. But that's not the world we live in, so I'm stuck. I'm stuck. I'm screwed. Game Maker Studio user. You know, again, whatever kind of works. I always have problems running Game Maker games now. Every time that I play a game made in Game Maker, something doesn't work. Like, it can't go full screen, or the controller don't work. That's a big one. Like, almost every Game Maker game I've played always has controller issues. Like, I spend like 20 minutes trying to get it to work. And I can't do it. So now I pass that up, and Godot's got it. Godot, whatever it is. I almost picked Godot. Godot, whatever. I guess I'll call it Godot. I almost picked Godot because of how similar it was to Unity. But I think it feels like there's not a lot of support for it yet, as much as like there are people that use it, right? It still feels like the community is kind of like underdeveloped for it, which not too bad. I can usually rough it out and do things on my own, or everybody needs help sometimes, but I feel like for the most part I can kind of figure things out sometimes. But the big thing that killed me about it is that their console support is private only. So they're like, hey, if you want to put your game on Switch, okay, well, the Godot founders, they created this private corporation and they do the conversion for you, right? But it's not just that they can do it for you. They're the only ones that can do it. And you better hope they do a good job, and you better hope it comes in on time, because you have no choice. You're not allowed to do it on your own. From what I understand, that technology is locked under lock and key, and you don't get to touch it. You have to pay them to transfer your game into whatever console format you want, and you don't get to touch it. If they're lacking, if they're falling behind, or they're not doing a good job, you do not have the option to step in and do it yourself. So I'm like, you know what? If I was only making fan games, if I was only releasing things on PC, maybe I would consider it. But that's not my ultimate goal. I want to do all the stuff. I want to do console games, I want to do fan games, I want to do everything. And if I'm going to spend time making an engine for a fan game, I want to reuse that. I want to use that for the future. But I see the future is limited right now with Godot. And I didn't like it. So I ended up with Unreal. Process of elimination, right? There's a Megamix engine? Okay. Oh, since you can't code. Hey, that's fair. You got to start somewhere, right? Look, I started way back when. I started with Multimedia Fusion. I absolutely would not recommend it today. It's still around, but I would not recommend it. It is ancient, old, and it does not run well, and the games made with it have horrible technical issues that you do not want. But that's where I started back in the day, and then eventually I moved to other things, so. How much of GameMaker's console support is solely because of Undertale and Deltarune? That's a good point. That's a good point. I didn't even get far enough to look into that part of it, because I just always have problems playing GameMaker games. They always just don't work right, so I don't want to work with it, right? Let's see. My battery good? Okay. I'm just saying, if this thing's dying down here, is this one all right? Looks like it. Yeah, so that kind of turned me off to those ones. So I ended up with Unreal. I mean, because Unreal 1, you can do your own ports. It's open source. In other words, like, it's not free open source, necessarily. You have to, sign a license to use it. And if you make enough money off of it, you have to pay Epic, for it, which is fine. When you make $5 million, they can have some. It's fine. I don't care. But you can go in, you can look at all the source code. And this is the other thing I didn't like about Unity. I had to kind of come up with my own stuff, making the rollback netcode. I had to come up, how do objects work? How does the math work? How does rotation work? How do they calculate the positions? I kind of had to just guess and check and figure out what I could get to mimic Unity's layout. I don't have to do that in Unreal. I can literally just open it up. I can read the code. It's there. It's just there. How did they rotate that character? Well, gee, I'll just open it and find out. Hell, you can click on a piece of code and it will take you to the code in question. Here. I don't know. Can we do this one? No, probably not that one. Hey, here, boom. Oh, wait, no, this is a blueprint. Hold on. Come on, where's here? Boom. Here it is. Here's the code. It just takes you right to it. What does this do? Double click it. Hey, that's what it does. You can just do that, and it's so nice. It's so freeing to just have that, and you can check all the engine source code. You can see what's in there. Are you concerned with spyware? Just look into it. Unity locks it all away. You don't know what's in there. You don't know what they're tracking, what servers are going where. And Unreal, you can just look at it. You just look in there. Are you satisfied? Is it clean enough for you? Cool. Well, there you go. You just look at it yourself. Hello, sorry for bothering you. You're not bothering me. Now you are bothering me because you are a spammer, actually. How do I ban it? I've been out of streaming for years. Add to the block list. There you go. Get out of here. Mod view changed. Yeah. Oh, I'm seeing like a combined chat between Twitch and YouTube. So, yeah, he was bothering me. Sorry. Goddamn bots. What is this, Twitter? Alright, you gotta hit the road. Have a good one, man. Come on back. We're playing the original game next Wednesday. And then I'll tell you what I think about it when I play it and tell you kind of what my plans are, what I want to change. So we're going to do that hopefully this time at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and not 10 because my audio system didn't work. Yeah, come on back. Be glad to have you. Let's see now. What else am I missing here? We got a lively chat today. Worst engine choice would be the Unity RPG Maker. I forgot all about that. Oh god, it was so awful. Oh my god, that was one of the worst things, the worst plugins for any engine I've ever seen in my life. I remember looking at the code with you about that. That was so terrible. Did they even fix any of that, or did they just kind of, we'll set that aside? We're not going to do anything with that? Crazy. Oh yeah, we were comparing the stage, right? Oh, the Crusher. I changed the Crusher already. Because see, here's the thing with, again, you can't blame them because it's Game Boy. They did what they could, right? So on the original Game Boy, this part here would move up and down, right? And you could get crushed into it. But because of the way the Game Boy works, it had to be a flat surface here. You know what I mean? Like what they really were doing is they were cutting the screen in half. And the room really looked kind of like this. And then they would render up to here, and then they would shift this background up and down. Like the offset of like where the camera was, like midway through the screen's rendering. I don't know if this is making any sense, but it's called a horizontal interrupt if you want the technical thing for it. When you're drawing scan lines from left to right, they can run code in between the lines. And they say, oh shoot, okay, we're at the right line. Okay, now move this up here. Move the camera so it looks like this is up here. This has already been drawn and it stays. But now it's going to draw stuff that looks like this. So that way, that's how they can get the thing going up and down. I don't know if that makes sense to anybody. That's how they did it. But the thing is, they had to cut the screen in half. They really couldn't do anything with the terrain here. It kind of had to be flat, right? So I said, screw it. We're on Super Nintendo now, baby. We got superpower. We can use layers. We can change this. So I kept the first part the same because I think it was a good introduction to the concept of, oh yeah, the Crusher's going to kill you. Don't get caught in this part. But then once you're here, it can dip down, right? So you get some elevation in here. And then I redid this part, so you've got to jump up and then you got to slide. And if you don't slide, you're not fast enough, you're going to get crushed. It's pretty lenient. As long as you slide once, you're good. It was a lot harder before this version. I did over-engineer it a little bit too much. But I did change it back after, so... Or not change it back, but I modified it. I think this is a good level of difficulty. Again, once you jump here, if you slide once and then walk the rest of the way, you can make it out. So it's a little lenient on that, and that's fine. So I did change a lot of stuff like that, and that's kind of like another thing that I'm thinking about. Okay, they were on Game Boy. They can only do so much. Let's look at this. Are there places that it looks like they could have done more with it on the Super Nintendo, and maybe they would have wanted to, but they just couldn't because it was Game Boy? This is definitely one of those cases. So I added a little elevation change there. And then the ending is pretty similar. And then we get up to this room here, which I covered up my taskbar, so I don't know where it is. Here it is. And this is with the little hammer guys. This is actually the first room that we did. I did the original mock-up of that, and I think Proto Dude, Brian, who runs Rock Band Corner, he actually I actually didn't show this screenshot before, but I showed him in private, and he posted it, which is fine. I'm not mad. It's fine. I should have showed it anyway. This was the original that I did. When I started showing it to people, saying, hey, this is what I want to do, this is what I did. I took the tiles and I took this screenshot, basically, and I redrew it Mega Man 7 style. So, that was the original. That was kind of the pitch. You know, when I showed Aaron, Egoraptor, this is what I was saying. I showed him kind of like the idea what I had in mind. This is what I showed him. That was most of what we had at that point. And I got a lot of good reception off of it. A lot of people were pretty hyped about the idea, and that really gave me, I guess, the courage. I don't know if courage is the right word, but it spurred me forward. It really let me know that I was kind of on the right path there. I wrote a mode for RPG Maker Unite that makes it 4,000 times faster. I think at least they at least integrated my fix. I do remember that. And man, my lips were like chapping. I haven't talked this much in a long time. Do I have chapstick here? I've got eye drops. I don't think so. Damn it! I need chapstick. I should use the eye drops though. It just seems like with time my eyes get drier and drier. So, oh, probably looks like I'm crying. I'm sobbing. I'm upset. The only ones that work for me is my wife's got refresh tears, and they just don't work for me. This one's Cystane. I'm open for sponsorship, Cystane, if you want to. Or Cystine, I don't even know what it is. It's not cheap though, but I don't usually need it too much. Tears in my eyes from seeing you too, man. yeah, that's what they are, man. Yeah. Good to see you. They do work though. They actually do pretty good. But they dry out a lot after I take a shower too. I don't know if it's the water or what. Not too bad today, but they have been getting kind of dry during the stream. But my mouth is what's killing me. So I keep forgetting to drink, but now my lips like split and it just hurts, so. You guys see me fiddling with that all night now. Then we got the next room here. Wrong pipe. We got the next room here is more conveyor belts, right? And so this one was kind of cool because they put some items in here. We didn't have time to add the items in. And it didn't take much, but I had to prioritize putting the enemies in because they're just more interesting. Like they had, I don't know if there's a life up here and a one up over here, which was kind of neat. This room is going to be interesting. Because in the original, I don't know if it's going to show you. Oh, yeah. In the original, you're supposed to slide under these spikes. You're supposed to risk death to go get the E-Tank. And it's harder than it looks. And part of that is because the original game, you'll see this when I play it next week, the original game has air momentum. Not unlike Mario games, which if you played Mega Man, that sounds weird because Mega Man doesn't have air momentum on the consoles. You're right, he doesn't. And on the Game Boy, he's got air momentum, and sometimes it's an issue. And that's also why I had to change this room. The challenge here, when you walk off this cliff, is the air momentum keeps you going. You'll touch the spike and die. You have to kind of wiggle your way in the middle, down the center, right? So this is threatening only in the Game Boy. But since we removed the air momentum to make it more like the console games, I actually had to come up with a different way to do this, because otherwise you just fall down the center. It would not be a threat at all. So I just moved the spikes, right? So you can go around here. You have to go around, and then you have to go around the other way, and then you fall down here. And then I hate the feeling of the eye drops when they like drip down your face. It feels like when you're out in the rain and you feel the raindrops. It's just kind of weird. Like, I don't know if other people like this, but if like water gets around my eyes, like I always feel like I have to get rid of it. Like it's just an instinct. Like I gotta wipe it off. But that's kind of a pain. But yeah, in this one, there's no air momentum, so you literally would just fall straight down through here with no problem. So I made it kind of like one of those, reminiscent of those like spike hallways, you know, in some games, Mega Man games. But I didn't want to be that threatening because it's like kind of the starter stage for the whole game, so you don't want to be too bad. Now, right now, we don't have the screen transitions in, so if you don't know what's coming, you're absolutely going to just die. I get through it because I've done it. I built it, so I know the layout. And I've played it through, you know, 20 times to get that footage to record. So, yeah, that's how I got around that, but I wouldn't expect anybody else to be able to do this without the screen transition. But the screens transition slow enough in Mega Man games that you should be able to identify, oh crap, there's something there, well, I gotta move to the right a little bit and get through it. It should be pretty easy to get around. It should look scary. You know, a lot of these like spike hallways or spike drops in the Mega Man games, a lot of them are a lot easier than they look. They're really meant to be like a jump scare, to be like, oh my god, oh no, it's spikes everywhere, but it's like, okay, it's not really that hard to get around. It's just a scare. Just to get your heart pumping without there being too much risk for the player. Anyway, back here, yeah, we don't have the items yet, so I didn't put the items in. And also the sliding doesn't really change Mega Man's shape yet. We kind of just faked that, so I think he would just fall down the hole anyway if you tried. Then you fall down here, you fight that other trash guy, which is pretty much the same. Not much changed here, just the size of the room is a little different. And then yeah, you fall down here. I think what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna like move this out though a little bit. Now here it's more dramatic because the blocks are bigger proportionally, but I can make it, where is it? I can't see now because I put chat up there. There it is. Oh, chat's falling. Sorry. I'm letting you all down, literally. There. Well, you got a little more control over it because our tiles are a little smaller. So I would just bump it out to here. Just to add one more tile. And that way this isn't lined up. So you have to kind of correct more if you want to take the shortcut. Or you can go to the left and then jump back. And then here was a wall of spikes. This one changed a little bit. You can actually see the spikes in the previous room, which I'm not sure if that's actually the case anymore. I guess you kind of can, but they're not really deadly. You'd have to really try to hit them. I felt like there was kind of no reason for this to be here, because if you move these over this way, now it's kind of the same situation we had before, right? We're like, oh, this could be like a garbage grinder. Instead of just spikes down here, you could have like a moving animated garbage grinder that's actually like chopping up blocks. You got the same thing here. Same kind of setup. Because look what you got. You got this conveyor belt down here. Well, just, you know, in the original, right, it would just lead you right to it. If you let go of the controller, you just go right to it. Okay, well, let's move this to the absolute side of the screen. Maybe we'll turn that into another garbage grinder. And then just extend this all the way out, right? To make it look more like a purposeful machine here. There. And that's basically how we ended up with... Where is it now? There it is. That's how I ended up adjusting that here. So this... in the final version of this level, I think this conveyor belt's always going to be pushing you to the right. It's always going to be pushing you toward the grinder. It won't reverse directions. In the original game, they actually reversed directions after a time. We didn't have time to get that working. Although we could have. There was no technical reason. It just we ran out of time. Get grinders everywhere. But yeah, I think this could really be expanded on. You could make this a bigger room even. And have more stuff. Maybe there's a conveyor belt that's spitting blocks down the conveyor belt. You know, a machine that's spitting blocks out, so you got to jump over the blocks. You make this 2 rooms long, and you got to jump over the blocks, and then maybe this is too high. Maybe we're going to make it up here. We're going to make it really high. You can't jump that. You have to jump on a block and then jump on top of it. I think there's a lot of stuff like that we have the opportunity to add. And then down here, we've got the pre-boss room. You fight another little guy. Pretty much the same thing as here. There was one of those block crushers here. You beat him, and then there you are. There's Mercury. And that was pretty much it. It was a pretty straightforward conversion. But like I said before, that's kind of what made us really feel like we kind of have to do more with this. It's cool. It's kind of neat to see it superified, Super Nintendo-ized, but it's not enough. we need to take it another step further and then really think, what are these rooms? What can we do to make them look different? You look at like Mega Man 7, you go from one room to another. One room feels enclosed. It's got walls that are close. The background looks like it's right up against you. And then the next room, it opens up and there's a panoramic, not panoramic necessarily, but like a panning background. You feel depth in the same. Like the original Game Boy doesn't really have that. So we should add things like that. And, this prototype doesn't represent that ideal properly. But that's where I want to go with it, going forward. You could say the prototype was kind of like the test run, the rough draft, and we learned a lot from it, but it's time to move on from it and start doing something more advanced with it. So basically at this point, I have to kind of review, as the director and the planner, I have to review what did we do, what did we do good, what did we do bad, what process did we take to get to it, what parts were easy, what parts were hard, and then I can use that to kind of like, okay, now here's the plan for the real deal. Now we're going to move past the prototype phase. We're gonna do more stuff. Are there any plans for pre-fight dialogue? I don't know. I don't know. On one hand, it's kind of neat, and on the other hand, I kind of like just not having to deal with it. I don't know. We're definitely going to, kind of like retranslate the script and get more here translation and kind of fill in some more details and stuff that I think that they were trying to do, but they just didn't quite get it for whatever reason. There's a lot of details in the story that kind of like they could mean more. They could be a little more consistent across the run of the game, and I think we want to try to do stuff like that. But I don't know how much we want to really add, to that. I think there's a lot of opportunities to add stuff in places that, like the shop, right? So when you go to the shop, here, when you see Dr. Light, well, you can't see it because it's not on the thing here, but when you see Dr. Light here, this is the screen where the shop takes place. Right now it's a cutscene, but if we go here and go back, here's the shop. But it's only got Dr. Light on it, right? We could add more. We could put Roll, we could put Eddie. I mean, Otto wasn't invented yet, this part of the timeline, so rip Otto, but why don't we have like Beat and Eddie and Roll and stuff, and you can have them talking and doing all sorts of other things too. I think that would be good. I really want to do that. It was one of the first pillars of like what changes I want to make. I want more character involvement from other characters that should be around during that part of the series. Aaron can just voice everyone. Yeah. I'd love to see an option selector which you can choose between the original or manga design of the StarDroid faces, because I prefer the original human faces rather than the skull humanoid faces personally. Unfortunately, I'm on the other side of that fence. So what he's talking about is the eyes. So in the Gigamix, the Mega Man Gigamix, or Rockman Gigamix, whatever you want to call it, the manga by Ariga, which is fantastic, and you should absolutely read it. All of his Mega Man stuff is fantastic. But he changed the eyes, so the eyes were more human eyes, right? Let me see if I can get a screenshot. Mega Man Terra art. Yeah. So here is the original Terra art, right? He's got normal Mega Man eyes. But when you look at him, you're like, he just looks like a robot master. Like, he doesn't look alien, right? But here, not Megamix, Gigamix. There is a Megamix, but that Gigamix is a sequel. Here, hold on. I got it. But when Ariga did his manga, he changed their eyes. He made them pale. He made the skin pale, and he changed the eyes to black. And when I saw that, I'm like, that's perfect. You know why? Because that looks otherworldly. it doesn't look like just, yeah, he kind of looks like a Robot Master, right? It's just, he kind of looks like maybe, like, if you weren't told that he was an alien robot, you probably might not have guessed that. But here, you look at him and you're like, man, there's something different about him. You can tell right away, and it's in the eyes. That's why I made that decision immediately. I'm like, we're doing the eyes. We're doing the Gigamix eyes. Because they just look so much more otherworldly like that. Unfortunately, I don't plan to make an option for that. We're just... Ah, shit! You weren't seeing it because you were seeing the other thing. I don't know. I'll get the images again. I'll get the hang of this one of these days. Mark my words. Here's the manga. Jesus. Hold on. I did the goof. The classic. Alright, here. See this guy? You look at him, he looks like a Robot Master. I don't know if you could tell the difference. If you weren't told this guy was an alien, would you think he was an alien? You didn't know anything about the character? You'd be like, I don't know, he's fucking tree man with tree hair. Something. I don't know. Or maybe he's like, one of the special ones, like Base is a special, the Robot Master, quote unquote, I guess. He's not one of the typical numbers. You could say, oh, well, he's kind of like Base or whatever, right? Because he just kind of looks like a Robot Master. But look at this! With the pale skin and the dark eyes, the dude looks otherworldly. He looks more imposing, he looks more intimidating, and he looks just, there's something different about him. Yeah, it depends on how much DBZ you've seen. Oh, hey, Tim! Hey, you woke up. I sent you the build. I don't know if you tried it yet. Tim's one of the pixel artists. If you've been here before, you know who Tim is. Tim's my bro. We've known each other for over 10 years at least at this point. Well, let's see. Oh my god, it's been like 20. Maybe more than 20. I don't even remember now. No access to the PC for the workday. Oh, fair enough. You are also Tim? You're not the Tim I'm talking about. I'm talking about the other Tim. Yeah, if you've been here before, Tim's been on the show here with me. He's been there the whole time. Because of course you don't walk in the wife leak or whatever. No, it doesn't. I was trying to make a program that could stretch your monitor screen like a preview, because the Super Nintendo graphics actually get stretched. They're much thinner in their actual data form, and then they get stretched out to the screen. And to make it easier to draw the sprites, I wanted to make something like that. And I used a plugin for Unreal that allowed you to capture your desktop, but it was forcing Tim to make an account and sign on the site, and I was just like, never mind. That's what that joke's about. But yeah, Tim's been on the show quite a few times in the past. So he worked on a lot of the animations that you saw in the trailer today, and he kind of helped guide the refinement of all the graphics. So like I showed you, I did the original test screen here, but he went through and kind of like shaped things up and fixed the shading and got things animated, and kind of we had a lot of discussions about exactly what we need to do to get it shaped up and looking a bit better. So he really spearheaded that, and you could say that he's really directing, I guess, the style rules, or what would the word be? Style guidelines for the pixel art. He's really doing that. And he's doing a great job. He did Tamp, I think, almost completely. Let me get to that. Ah, man, my lips are dry. Yeah, me and my beat up. It's a Yeti, right? I mean, my beat up Yeti thing is all coming off. I don't even know where the top is. Yeah, so Tim and Egoraptor were doing the animations on the enemies. I may have done one thing here or there, but they're pretty much spearheading that. So Tim made the, I think he came up with the original sprite for this guy. And then they both worked to animate the rest of it. But yeah, he looks good. Let's see. Debug mode. Whee! Whoop. Got caught on the block. Yeah, so this guy here, I think Tim did this one entirely on his own, which is really good. Got a lot of moving parts on this one. I kind of ran out of time and I had to simplify some of it, but when I get a chance to get back and revisit this enemy, I do want to do all the little extra movements that Tim had in there and kind of like synchronize everything. I mean, it doesn't look bad as it is right now, but it could look a little fancier. But the other thing we were thinking about, this enemy only appears once in the whole game. And I was saying, you know, when they were doing it, I'm like, you know what? We can turn this guy into a mini-boss. This stage does not have any mini-bosses. But look at his pattern's really cool. He could be a big, giant crusher mini-boss. You can have the whole room be a, the hell is it? Words are failing me. Conveyor belt. You get a whole room being like a conveyor belt, and him being like 3-4 times the size, and you really got to dodge him and get him and stuff. You know, I think like he could make a really cool mid boss, because a lot of the other stages do have mid bosses. Not all of them do, but a lot of them do. But he's cool. But he only appears in this one room in the original game too. That's it. He's literally a one and done. That's why I'm like, well, if he's going to only appear once, maybe he could be a big giant, you know, mid-boss. It would be cool. Mini-boss, whatever you want to call him. Yeah, right. Tim did both Tamp and Soshi B. Soshi Breaker. Well, I hit the... We actually did program special weapons. We just didn't bother showing them because we didn't have any... just a bunch of test ones. But we didn't have any of the ones from Mega Man 5 and Game Boy. Did the music stop? The music stopped. Hold on. Did I not loop it? I did tell it to loop. Is that looping now? Yeah, it's looping now. Here we go. Yeah! I like that intro song. That's from the arcade game. But yeah, I did test them. But yeah, Soshi B, Soshi Breaker. That is the big trash guy. I have to debug my way through this. Let's go! Can I make it? Can I make it? Oh, I didn't make it. There we go. Whee! Not this guy. This guy! This is the guy Tim's talking about. He did this one. He did this one completely. It's pretty good. This animation could be more elaborate too, but I ran out of time. Oh yeah, and GSQ. GSQ, that's the other trash guy. I'll show him. Yeah, developing an Unreal Engine. Oh, Amber! That's my wife. I just woke up from one of those naps where you forget where and when you are. Yeah, I understand that. Which stage is this? This is the Mercury stage. So yeah, GSQ is this guy. So yeah, Tim did that one too. Yeah, it did a really great job. I think we really went super hard on upping our animation level, and you know, it's thanks in part to Ego Raptor too, because he's a professional animator, obviously. So like, we would start to see the stuff that he's doing. We're like, oh, okay, he's exaggerating these parts. He's doing this and that, and we kind of followed that lead, and we really kind of learned a lot from him. You know, when he was doing that. So we applied all those kind of things, and we came up with kind of like a style guideline, and we got everything all kind of in there. Let's see. Magnet beam with arbitrary code execution. What? I don't know. Thin platforms are tough, and actually, the ladders here. I've got to do more research about how to selectively ignore certain colliders when you do like a physics check, because I can do this, right? And I can run and jump. This is kind of like a thin platform, but if I exit the ladder right here, oh, I get stuck. it's just bad. It's bad news bears. It will eventually eject him. You can see he's slightly moving. It will eventually push him out, but it takes a while. There are ways apparently that you can prevent this from happening, but I need to really research because it's not very intuitive, I guess, on how that actually works. So I gotta look up what to do with that. So yeah, right now the ladders are pretty broken. They're also infinite, if you didn't see earlier, so you don't have to exit them. They have a select space. Like I can't just grab onto them anywhere. I actually have to touch them to grab on. But once I'm grabbed on, the code doesn't check when you're supposed to get off. So, but yeah, so GSQ, Soshi Breaker, and what's the other one? Tamp. Those are the ones Tim did pretty much on his own. I mean, we all kind of like look at him and give feedback, and obviously I'm the director. I've got to take a look at it and check all that stuff. The top of the ladders. Yeah, the ladders are solid. It's just once you grab the ladder, the code tells you to ignore the entire ladder object when you're moving with the character controller that I made. I didn't use Unreals. I made my own like retro character controller. It'll ignore it during that check, but it'll reactivate once you leave the ladder. But that's not the same as the physics system. The physics system is a different layer on top of that I'm also utilizing, so yeah, it gets weird. I'll go over more of it later, but yeah. When do I plan on taking a break? Well, I mean, it's almost midnight, so I guess I probably shouldn't stay too much longer. We started at 10, 11, 12, so it's been roughly 2 hours. Yeah, the hammer guy. Yeah, we all had to pitch in for the hammer guy. He was quite the chore, but he came out great. Look at him. I made the original sprite, but it wasn't. I made it really quick. I didn't really think too hard about it. I just want to kind of get that example room that I showed earlier. But then Aaron and Tim really went, kind of back and forth and making sure all the details were right and making sure it animated right. Because to a degree, you want something that looks authentic, because there's concept art for all these characters, which I thought was amazing. I didn't know that they actually had concept art when we started this. I thought we were just going to have to make some of it up, but they actually have like full color concept art for a lot of these characters. And to a degree, you do want that authentic look. You want to take, that's what they intended to do? Well, that's what we're going to do. But sometimes you have to go a little off script, because there's two things there. One, the conversion from Game Boy to Super Nintendo doesn't always work one-to-one. So proportionally, these little hammer guys are typically bigger than this, proportional to Mega Man. So here, in the Game Boy games, they're actually bigger than this. They're actually taller. They're actually, when the hammer is fully up, they're taller than Mega Man. But it looked kind of weird in this style, so we kind of rebalanced the proportions. And going back and doing things like that and making little changes like that to like truly adapt it for the style. That's something you really have to do. You can't just bump up the resolution and call it a day. He refuses to say the line, "My wife," the Borat. My wife, that one? Is that what you want me to say? Yeah, just use the infinite ladders to get the cup. In the new house that we're in, rental house, not purchased. I wish we bought this house. It's great. I started putting. There's that like infinite cabinet space, right? So I started putting the cups like higher up, and then she's so short she can't reach. So she's like, I need the cup. Come get me the cup. Chat said it's kind of the same for us. Ladders really swap out a ton of normal physics. Yeah, there's something. As far as I understand, it's C++ only, but there is a way to ignore specific actors during the actual physics simulation. And I don't know yet exactly how it works. I just found out about it this week. So I'm like, there's no time to do this right now. I'm going to have to look at it later and see. Now, Unity makes it super easy. You can literally just say, ignore this actor during physics, or don't ignore this actor during physics. You can take it on and off the list of ignore. And that's what I was using to do, like, not necessarily thin platforms. I didn't have that quite down, but like if a moving platform pushed you into a ceiling, it would just ignore the moving platform so you could fall through it, things like that. That's what I'm hoping to be able to do here with this, but I have not fully researched it yet, so I don't really know. Yeah, I'm JoJo height. 198 centimeters. I guess so. I'm American, so I don't know what the hell a centimeter is, but apparently I'm 198 centimeters. Or 6'5". No ceiling fan in the bedroom. No, I love this house because it's an old house. The ceiling's tall. You know those old houses? The ceiling's like really high. I actually have to like try to touch the ceiling. So like that's great. I love that. Like being tall, those tall ceilings are great. Just imagine a big tamp attacking you with an armada of regular tamps. That is mean. You see that the ideas that Tim comes up with are just crazy. They're so mean. You will find out. Like, if you've been here a while, Tim's just really mean with game design. He makes everything too hard. The ceiling is NES height. Yeah. I don't know what that is. What is that? The Moik Nest? Morlock. Oh, the Morlock Nest. Yeah, this is one of those houses where the basement is just dirt. I don't know if you... It's an old movie called The Time Machine. It was a book, too. And then these Morlocks live in the caves, and I went down in that cellar, and I'm like, this is a goddamn Morlock den. It's just so dark and just dirt. Piles of dirt. Not just a dirt floor, but piles and mounds of dirt in random spots in the basement. It's very weird. Yeah, endless mode. 2 meters is 6 tiles high. Tim makes classic arcade games. Yes, Tim definitely has that masochistic, classic sense of design that I have to keep in check because he's way too mean. Hold on just a second. Here, look at this. Well, I blow my nose. Because my nose is tickling me. It is really bugging me. And you can't see it. Because it wouldn't be polite of me to let you see it. See, back when I didn't have the camera, I could clean my nose all day long. You wouldn't even notice. Oh, my nose is bleeding. Well, no wonder it feels weird. God damn it. Okay, well, that explains that. I was like, damn, nose feels like weird. What's going on? Alright, hold on. I'm trying to get the blood out. Yeah, jeez. Alright, that's good enough. What are we here? Where this one? My whole layout's changed. I don't know where it is anymore. Well, it is getting a little late, so does anybody have any questions, hopefully that I can answer quickly before I head out? It's a Q&A time. A very quick Q&A. Make it short. I can't explain everything all at once, but we'll be doing a lot more streams. I'm going to be back next Wednesday for sure. And we're going to do a analysis playthrough of the original game, and kind of I'll share like in real time, kind of like, oh yeah, I'm going to change this, I think, and I'm looking forward to this part and stuff like that. Oh yeah, AJ gave us the Felicia statue as a wedding gift. Not knock over my lamp. Here. I don't know if it'll show up good on camera. It was definitely the coolest wedding gift. Well, he also gave me a Steam Deck. I don't know, is the Steam Deck cooler than the Felicia statue? They're both cool. But yeah, he got this for us for the wedding. It's really cool. It's big too. It's kind of bare right now. I haven't got a lot of stuff, up. I want to maybe put like a poster or something up there, because, well, here, take a look at the whole. I'd like to put like a poster. I've got like nothing going on over here. I just put that there today with with the Sonic, geez, brain fart, Sonic the Hedgehog. You tried to get Cammy? Yeah, that's her other favorite. Yeah. That's all right. Maybe in due time. Yeah, the wedding gift MVP. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and he got us a Steam Deck too. That's crazy. I love the Steam Deck. That is my favorite, like console and handheld, like period. Like that's if I get a game, I want to try to get it on that first because it's so convenient. But yeah, there's Sonic. I don't know if you can see. I'm looking at the wrong thing. Yeah. There's Sonic. That's the Sonic Mania Sonic. He survived the flood. I got a Wukong statue, figure, whatever you call him. Look, we got Leon. He's over around the corner. I can grab him. Come here, boy. Here's Leon. We got Leon. I just don't have space for. I need like a bookshelf. I have like no space for these things. Otherwise, I'd have them all. Where's your Neko Arc figure? Yeah, no thanks. Not a big Neko Arc fan. Believe it or not. Yeah, there he is. He's in frame. We got a Jill one too, but it's in the closet. We still have to figure some stuff out. Yeah, start a GoFundMe for bookshelves. I really do need them. I want to put one here because I got all the games. They're in boxes because I don't have any place to put them. I want to put games. Bookshelf right here. Where the Sonic and all that is could be a big bookshelf. And then you can see me walk up and pick a game out right here. That's part of the show, right? Got to have the games. I mean, we got a real Super Nintendo. We got a CRT on as well. At the PS2, we got a lot more consoles that they thankfully were upstairs, so they didn't get wet. Well, not all of them. Some of them didn't make it, but most of them did. So I got the NES, I got the N64, I got PS2 hooked up, the Super Nintendo, but there's actually the PSP and stuff in there too. But well, we got like a Saturn and a game, Dreamcast, Saturn and Dreamcast and Genesis and stuff. And I want to hook all that up, but like, there's no space. That's all I've got. I need a bookshelf, a cubby, some TV set. I don't know what I need, but I need more stuff. I just don't have any furniture. So we'll see more stuff added as time goes on. I did the Wojak pointing. the Felicia. Ooh. Yeah. We got the Saturn and Dreamcast. My Sonic autism says you're welcome. Ripped them. Yeah, the mangas got all destroyed. I had a hardcover set of Hellsing, and that shit's gone. That was gut wrenching to find. That was awful. Yeah, most of the art books that I had are gone completely. Just ugh. Yeah, like I said, we'll make a video about the flood in detail and tell you how we survived and all that shit. It was wild, but that's its own streamer video. We'll do that. Yeah, right. You have them in storage. We didn't have a lot of space at the old place either, so we had some of them in storage downstairs. And they're like, oh well, they're in totes. They'll be fine. They're sealed or whatever. But no, water will find a way in. You know, when the water is 4 feet above the box, it finds its way in somehow. Not exactly watertight. Yeah, that was rough. But yeah, again, that'll be its own thing. So, any more questions? If not, you can ask them. Well, I mean, you can always talk to me on Twitter and stuff. I'm sure my mentions are completely annihilated right now. Because that video took off pretty good, which I'm very happy. No complaints about that, of course. Can I have my cup now? Wifey wants her cup. I'll get it for you as soon as I get off the air. If there's no more questions, I guess we'll shut it down. And like I said, we'll be back next Wednesday. So we're going to be doing streams on Wednesday. Oh yeah, this is really funny. When Unreal's not in focus, it actually goes to like 3 FPS. I guess to cut down on resources, which is super funny because it makes all the physics act really weird. Look at him. But he's like falling. He's like falling 3 feet every frame. It's really funny. I don't know. Unreal is very hilarious sometimes. And also it's not funny when it doesn't work and crashes a lot. What's my new opening closing lines? We don't know. Yeah, we'll do a video about the Game Dev Scrubs going away too. That was the old name that I streamed under. TLDR just didn't make sense to do anymore. It was supposed to be kind of like a group thing, and then it ended up just being me, and then I just figured I'd just stream under my normal name. And then if I have guests, I have guests. And that's kind of how it was going anyway, so, Glad to see you again. Hey, G-Man, you're still here. No, I'm glad to see all you guys, too. It's great. There's actually a lot of people showed up. Very happy. I'm very happy to be able to share this project with everybody finally. We've had it under wraps for quite a few months at this point, and it's just good to see it out there, and people are excited, and I'm excited, and I really feel like it's something that we can get done. We made some good progress so far. Right now, it's a prototype, and we've got to use that to kind of plan the rest of what we're going to do, but I think it's going pretty good. I think we've got a good workflow going. We've got great people. Tim and Ego Raptor are knocking it out of the park. The animations are great. The stuff looks real legit. And I'm personally excited to see where it's going, So I'm glad that other people are sharing that sentiment. And yeah, I'm glad to be back streaming now that I'm actually capable of doing it again. So yeah, and you can actually see me now, which is new. Beard mode enabled. This is Mark D. Wiz, and my wife has Sonic autism. Gotta go fast. That's my new catchphrase. That's what my wife says. Yeah, she has the Sonic autism. I guess I have the Mega Man autism, right? I mean, a little bit of Sonic. I like Sonic, but I think I like Mega Man a bit more. So I got the Mega Man autism, I guess. So there we go. Yeah, whiz out. I don't know. I have to think about it. I'll be honest, I spent so much time doing... Oh, you can't see the game because... I spent so much time doing that. Yeah, it's that direction. I've been spent so much time doing this prototype that I don't know. I didn't really think about it. I didn't think about what we were. I am Mark D. Wiz, and this is my show in my game, and that's it. I don't have a catchphrase yet. I've been just too busy doing this. You have no idea how much I had to push to get this stuff out this week. Whiz up, and whiz out. Okay, yeah, whiz up. I have Sonic Crocs. I win. Yeah, that's my wife. She really did buy Sonic Crocs. I think they were uncomfortable though, so she actually doesn't use them. But they're cool. They come with these little chili dog and rings and Sonic head pins. I guess, I don't know. I don't wear Crocs. Crocs are weird, but I guess the little holes you can put the little pins in the holes to decorate them or something. I don't know. It's cool. But yeah, I'm really happy to see that everybody's enjoying it. Certainly it's brightened my day and my week. You know, it's been pretty tough the last couple of years with the flood and trying to dig our way out of that and not being able to stream and not being able to do much, and that's just legitimately depressing. And so like coming back and seeing everybody here and just, you know, people being happy that I'm doing something again and enjoying the footage we put out today, that really means a lot to me, and I'm glad to be back. So yeah. But no more scrubs out. Perfection on my way upstairs. Wait, what did you say? Every stream should end with Amber throwing Sonic Crocs at Mark until he gets his shirt up. Don't you dare come up here and throw Sonic Crocs. Don't you dare. Now really, I should go though. I'm actually getting tired. It's been a very tough week. Just, you know, pushing to get everything done. And I've enjoyed every second of it, but I am legitimately tired. I'm going to have to take a few days off and just kind of chill. So start every stream with "we are." Yeah, what if I want to get copyright from Toei? No, thank you. I also have Peach Vans. Your choice, buddy. Peach Vans? Vans? I don't know what that is. I don't know what she's talking about. I'm banned for domestic situation. No, it's okay. It's okay. If I get hit, it's okay. We won't get banned for that. Yeah, get your rest. I really do need it. Vans, or Vans, however you say it, is a shoe brand. LOL. Yeah, I figured. I don't know. I don't know. Look, I shoes. Shoes for me, they're sneakers, they go on foot, or their boot go on foot. That's man shoe. I don't know about not man shoe. I put boot on foot. That's shoe. It's the Will of D. Yeah, the Mark D. Wiz, the Will of D. I do like that. I do like that correlation. I always thought that was funny. Well, Larry's got a D too. So like we're both D clan. Now we need to find out. Does Aaron have a D? We're big One Piece fans, by the way, if you didn't catch that. Which, by the way, that I am caught up with the manga, and that stuff is going crazy right now. I'm very excited for everything that's going on. Mark D. Wiz, Will is a triple large bacon classic from Wendy's. Yes, I actually celebrated with Wendy's today. And normally I'm on a diet because I'm not in the greatest of health. I got a lot of excess baggage here. I'm supposed to be on a diet, but today we made an exception because everything was going good with the game, and it was a big long rough couple of weeks working, and so I had my Wendy's today. Perked me right up. Lots of energy, lots of calories, lots of energy. But yeah. Alright, so I will see you guys back 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesdays now. We're gonna start with 1 day a week. We can expand it, we'll expand it. If we can't, we can't. Right now, that's about all I can really do at the moment. And that's pretty much it. So I'm Mark D. Wiz. Thank you for stopping by. If you want to throw me a dime, a quarter, or whatever, I'm on Patreon, as all good e-beggars are, at patreon.com/MarkDWiz. That's pretty much it. So I'll see you guys later. Very happy everybody's happy with the footage and the reveal, and we'll see you guys later. And no more scrubs out. I gotta come up with a different catchphrase, but thank you very much for showing up, and all the support means a lot to me. So have a good one.